When I first learned about Arnold, I only knew him by his online aliases. He named himself Shedletsky after one of Roblox's founders, Jadon Shedletsky, and liked convincing people that he was his brother. Seems legit, right? Over the span of 5 years, Arnold went from being one of Roblox's highest paid developers to being indicted on 2 felonies, facing 2 life sentences and $500,000 in fines. From what I understand, all of this started in 2017. Arnold was in the early stages of creating a Sonic the Hedgehog spin-off game called Sonic Simulator. Here's a video from his YouTube channel showing off an early prototype. I gotta say, Arnold's a pretty talented developer. His game got 90 million visits, it was well monetized, fully voiced, and it had a decently sized community. And that's where the problems began. It was no secret that Arnold was very sexually inappropriate when he spoke with his fans. He even admitted to this in his video, responding to the document allegations.
It was pretty common knowledge that these jokes were being made in my community. Maybe not to the extent it actually occurred, but definitely known. So far as to the point where I was known as the old man with kids in his basement.
We'll come back to this video later. There's one user in particular that Arnold became very involved with, who we'll call Sarah. Sarah was 12 years old in 2017. Arnold was 24. He knew exactly how old she was, but this didn't stop him from sending her sexually charged messages. You're 12. I expect you to be a little slow on the upbringing, but soon I'll corrupt you beyond your wildest dreams. End me, please. No, I'll rape you instead. You're the reason I'm gonna end up behind bars. Wow, that one aged well. These are just a few of the messages Arnold sent to this young girl, and she wasn't the only one. Nonetheless, he managed to dodge being exposed for his pedophilic antics for another 3 years, during which his game and subsequent popularity exploded. In September of 2020, I got a message from one of my viewers based in Japan. He sent me a tweet with a link to a Google Doc showing Arnold's exchanges with Sarah. That same day, Arnold uploaded a response video acknowledging that the things he said were inappropriate, but that they were just jokes.
My sense of humor has always been very harsh, dark humor, if you will, and while it doesn't excuse my behavior, it does reveal that I had no intention on moving on any of the things I said.
By the way, Arnold uses a voice changer to make his voice sound deeper. Here's what he actually sounds like.
Moving forward, I will not have this behavior. This shouldn't have been a joke in the first place.
He also brings in a handful of people to give testimonials on how he's totally not a pedophile. It's worth mentioning, every single one of these people were on his payroll.
Hey there, my name is Charlie. I'm currently 17 and I work at SEO as a graphics lead.
Hello, I am Dead Inside Sonic. I've known Jadon for the past 4 or 5 years. I am a contributor to the Roblox game Sonic Eclipse.
This is Panic. I've been a part of SEO's community since 2018. I do animation and modeling work.
I want to start off by saying I've known Jadon for 5 years, and all the years I've known him for, he was very careful with what he said because he knows not to step over the fine line of joking around.
Obviously, the DMs that were exchanged between Jadon and the victims were not okay. There is no excuse for that.
I'm not excusing what he said, but it was never meant to be handled seriously.
However, this doesn't give him the excuse to talk to these young individuals like that at all. Though he is not a pedophile.
But Jadon is by no means a pedophile.
He understands the clear dividing line between jokes and serious, harmful actions against others.
I'm just saying, what he did was extremely wrong, and I agree with you all with that, but he's not a fucking pedophile.
Jadon clearly knew his boundaries and did not want to indulge in anything illegal for his own safety and the safety of the victims.
Towards the end of the video, he shifts the blame onto the 12-year-old and calls her an attention seeker.
First things first, Red. What I said to you earlier about my apology was completely sincere, and I hope you can someday let go of this hatred. However, I will call you out on this because you cannot be claiming to be an angel. Red has no problem admitting that she craves attention. Her behavior before anything else really just kind of screams it.
This video was infuriating to me, not just because he was downplaying what he did, but because his games were still up, his community was siding with him, and he was on track to completely get away with it. So I spoke up. I made a few tweets denouncing him that caught the attention of a Roblox staff member on the developer relations team. I explained the situation to him. I gave him the email address of Sarah's mom, and I also showed him the video of Arnold admitting that the screenshots were real. Since the video is over half an hour long, I created my own video breaking it down in less than 7 minutes. Surprisingly, Arnold's main account was deleted not long after my conversation with this staff member. Arnold, however, prepared for this. By his own admission, the account they deleted wasn't his biggest source of income, and his revenue almost tripled after he was exposed. By the end of the month, his game was still up, he was still receiving payments from Roblox, and no one had even bothered to reach out to Sarah's mom. I shared my frustration with the staff member, calling Roblox's response weak, saying, "If DevRel really wanted to protect their users, they'd have deleted his game and curbed his Roblox income. Roblox's bottom line depends on parents trusting the company with their kids' safety, and that's not going to happen if this is the response to child predators." Around October 14th, the holder account for Arnold's development group was deleted, but Roblox was too slow. Just days before, Arnold transferred ownership of the group to one of his friends, meaning the funds from his game were still accessible. 2 weeks later, he tweeted, "Thanks for driving more money to my game, man. Geez, you guys are really fucking stupid by giving me all this publicity." After all this, Roblox still wouldn't take down his game, so on November 9th, I called my local police to file a report on him. I spoke with a detective who really seemed like he wanted to help, but since I didn't know anything about Arnold's real identity, there wasn't much they could do. The only people who could have known who he actually was Roblox. Since Arnold was approved for the developer exchange, they must have had all his personal info. Had someone at Roblox been the one to make that call, it's my belief that Arnold would have been arrested years ago. In January of 2021, a Roblox account called Warhead Management was created and had the group transferred to it. I messaged the staff member about it, and it got deleted almost immediately. 1 week later, Arnold's friend successfully appealed the ban, saying he was the true owner of the account and had nothing to do with the situation. The account was unbanned on January 22nd. Less than 4 months later, Arnold posted a YouTube video showing that he's still the owner of the game. I also noticed the same Discord server he was using to procure underage girls was still linked on his game's page. I messaged the staff member asking if they could remove it, and his response was, "They can just add it back." Things stayed pretty quiet until December. A channel called People Make Games released a video on the shadier sides of Roblox, which included an interview with Sarah herself, where she admits that watching Arnold's response video made her self-harm. People were rightfully upset at how badly Roblox fumbled this situation. 2 weeks later, Sega, the owners of the Sonic trademark, filed a copyright notice against Roblox, demanding that they take down Arnold's game. In 2022, a group of highly skilled people made a breakthrough in finding Arnold's identity. I won't get into specifics on how they found him, but they narrowed down his real name, his city, his family members, and his old address. I called my local police again, and they pulled up his case over the phone. I listened as the detective searched through public records and struggled to find a positive ID on the information I gave him. All the info I had was old. Given Arnold's history of using fake identities, I wasn't even sure if I had the name right. There were discrepancies with his birthday, his address, his phone number. Bottom line is, he was really hard to find, and the detective didn't seem confident enough to move further. I told him if I found anything else, I'd call him back. I really didn't have time to continue with all this. I'd just gone through a lawsuit from Roblox, and I really wanted to get back to making videos, so I forgot about everything until May, when one of my viewers told me Arnold had disappeared. He wasn't talking in his Discord server or responding to messages. A few people thought he killed himself. As it turns out, Arnold had been arrested by the FBI.
We're following some breaking news tonight at 6 o'clock. 22-year-old Arnold Castillo of New Jersey is facing federal charges. The reason we're covering this
In December, he took interest in another underage girl from his Discord server. This girl was 15, Arnold was 28, and he decided to bribe an Uber driver $1,000 to have her picked up and transported 700 miles across state lines to his home in New Jersey. When her mom noticed she was missing, she called the police. 2 days passed before she was able to meet with a sergeant and a detective at police headquarters, where she told them about Arnold. She knew of him by his fake name, and the fact that a few months prior he had placed orders on Amazon to her house, including several $1,000s worth of electronics that were canceled after the delivery deadline was missed. The police got a hold of Arnold over the phone, and of course he claimed his name was Jadon Shedletsky and that he lived in California. He gave them copies of his Amazon transactions, and when they asked why his billing address was in New Jersey, he told them he has an associate living there who conducts all of his transactions for him. Less than a week later, police got a hold of his messages to the 15-year-old, found his IP address, and traced it to the same home address linked to his Amazon account. On May 11th, special agents with the FBI initiated physical surveillance on Arnold's apartment, and within minutes spotted him with the missing 15-year-old. They arrested him on the spot. He identified himself as Arnold Castillo and claimed he was 22. Obviously, this isn't true, and the agent who wrote his criminal complaint seems to think so too. This same agent found his response video on YouTube. In the video, Castillo's voice can be heard narrating over images regarding allegations that he is a pedophile. Based on his vocalized rebuttals, the allegations sourced from unidentified fellow social media users who were reportedly juveniles. Those users had apparently informed Castillo that they were teenagers, and he ensued by making sexual advances and other derogatory remarks towards them. In his posted video, Castillo admitted that his comments were inappropriate, but stated that they were supposed to be jokes. Based on these findings, your affiant suspects that Castillo may have been using social media in 2020 to attempt to communicate, lure, and exploit other juvenile females. When I learned about all this, I called my local police back and asked them to forward the info I gave them to the FBI. Arnold has since pled not guilty, and his trial is scheduled for November 7th.